You know how it goes when you're driving to work or running errands and you glance down at your phone for just a second, or maybe you speed up a little to make the light. Most days, nothing happens. You get where you're going, park, and move on with your day. But every now and then, something does happen. A ticket shows up in the mail, or you end up in a minor fender bender in a parking lot. And suddenly, you're wondering what that means for your car insurance premium the next time it renews. Let's talk about how these things actually play out in practice because the impact isn't the same every time, and it's usually more proportional than people expect. Start with your tickets. Say you get pulled over for going 12 miles over the limit on the highway during your morning commute. You pay the fine, maybe it adds a couple of points to your license depending on your state, and you think that's the end of it. But when your insurance company pulls your driving record at renewal, they see the violation. They view it as a signal that your driving might carry a bit more risk going forward. For a first time speeding ticket like that, most companies add somewhere around 20 to 25% to your premium. If your current full coverage policy is running you about $2,000 a year, it could mean an extra $400 to $500 annually for the next few years. Now, let's look at a slightly different situation that happens more often than people realize. You're driving home from the grocery store on the surface street. The speed limit is 35 and you get ticketed for going 42. It's not a huge difference, but because it's in a residential area with houses and kids playing, many insurers treat that as a more serious violation than highway speeding. The surcharge might still fall in the 20 to 30% range, but it can push higher if your state assigns more points to that kind of ticket. And here's where frequency starts to matter. If this is your second ticket in the last 3 years, even if the first was something minor like a rolling stop, the combined effect can easily take your premium up 35 to 45%. The company isn't just looking at any one event, they're looking at the pattern. Another common ticket scenario involves distracted driving. You get caught using your phone while stopped at a red light. Maybe you were checking directions or replying to a text. In states that have strict hands-free laws, this often carries the same weight as speeding or even more. A single cell phone ticket can trigger a 25 to 35% increase on its own. And if you already have any prior moving violation, it can compound quickly. The reason is straightforward. Insurers see phone use as a repeatable behavior that increases the chance of a more serious crash down the road. Now shift to accidents. Most of the time when people are involved in a crash, it's minor. A tap in traffic, a backing up mishap, nothing dramatic. If you're not at fault, meaning the other driver caused it and their insurance covers your repairs, many companies won't raise your rate at all. You file the claim, your car gets fixed, and your premium stays the same because you didn't contribute to the risk. But if you are at fault, even in a low speed rear end where you were following too closely, your company typically has to pay out for the other driver's damages, and that changes how they see your risk. For a typical at-fault accident with property damage but no injuries, expect your premium to go up by 40 to 50% on average. If you're paying $2,000 a year now, that could mean $800 to $1,000 more annually for the next 3 to 5 years. Let's walk through a couple of realistic examples so you can see how this varies in real life. First, you're in a grocery store parking lot, backing out of a space, and you clip the side of another parked car. Minor damage, maybe $3,000 total to fix both vehicles. You're clearly at fault. Your insurer pays the claim, and at renewal, they apply a surcharge, often around 45%. But because the claim amount was relatively small and there were no injuries, some companies might keep the increase on the lower end of that range, say 40%. And it might step down faster over time as long as nothing else happens. Now compare that to a different at-fault scenario. You're on a 2-lane road, the light turns yellow, and you decide to go through, and you collide with a car turning left from the opposite direction. No one is seriously hurt, but the other driver has whiplash. Medical bills reach $15,000, and your insurer ends up paying out $25,000 total for repairs and medical. That higher claim cost gets reflected in a steeper surcharge, often 50 to 60% or more, because the payout was larger and the accident involved bodily injury. The increase lasts longer too, typically the full 3 to 5 years, and it can be harder to shop around for a better rate right away. There's another angle that catches people off guard. Even if you're not at fault, if you file a claim on your own collision coverage for your car's damage, some insurers might still adjust your rate slightly, maybe 5 to 15%, because any claim activity can signal higher future exposure. Take this example. You're stopped at a light, someone rear-ends you, you file under your collision to get your car fixed faster than their insurance investigates. Your premium might go up a little even though you were clearly not at fault. It's not as common as an at-fault surcharge, but it happens, especially if you've had other claims in the last couple of years, or if your company has a strict surcharge policy for comprehensive or collision claims. One thing that's consistent across both tickets and accidents is that the impact depends heavily on your overall record. If you've gone 5 or 6 years without any tickets or claims, a single minor ticket or a not-at-fault accident often has little to no effect. Companies reward long, clean stretches with lower base rates and sometimes even add safe driver discounts that can offset small increases. But if there's already 1 or 2 things on your record, even a small new violation can tip things into a noticeable increase because it shows a pattern. Also, the timing matters. Most companies look back 3 to 5 years for violations and accidents when setting your rate. So if something happened 4 years ago and nothing since, it's likely dropping off soon and your premium could come down at the next renewal. We've seen this happen a lot. A driver gets a ticket in year 1, pays a surcharge for 3 years, then in year 4, the violation falls off and their rate drops back down, sometimes even lower than before if they've added other positive factors like higher credit or lower annual mileage. When these things do happen, there are practical steps you can take to keep the increase in check. First, check if your policy has accident forgiveness or minor violation forgiveness. Many do for long-term customers, and it can prevent the first surcharge from hitting. Second, look into taking a defensive driving course if your state or company offers a discount for it. Completing one can sometimes offset part of the increase or earn you a reduction that lasts 3 years. Third, when renewal comes around, shop quotes from a few different companies. Rates vary a lot, and even with a ticket or accident on your record, you might find a better deal elsewhere, sometimes hundreds of dollars a year different. Finally, if the increase feels out of line, call your agent and ask them to walk through exactly how they applied it. Sometimes there's room to adjust based on other factors like your credit, homeownership, or bundled policies. At the end of the day, tickets and at-fault accidents do tend to raise premiums because they reflect higher perceived risk, but the effect is usually proportional to what happened and how often. Most drivers go years without anything major, and when something does occur, the surcharge fades over time as you rebuild that clean record. Keep an eye on your driving habits, maintain good coverage, and don't hesitate to compare options when things change. If this helped clarify how these situations actually unfold, give the video a like or subscribe for more straightforward explanations like this. Thank you for watching.